Reese Kaylin here, and this week's video is how to get good grades and not procrastinate. So, I love to procrastinate. Like, I don't love it, but I do it all the time, and it's basically just become my whole life. And I recently told my dad that I wanted to stop procrastinating since I'm going to be going to high school next year. I'm going to be a freshman since I am in 8th grade, and we are already in second semester, so I'm almost in high school. And I told him that I wanted to get good grades and not procrastinate and do my homework the day it's due, which is what I usually do. And so I'm going to be telling you guys how to not do that, because I am challenging myself, and so now I'm going to challenge you to do that. So let's just get right on into the video. Okay, so the first thing I would recommend, so that you don't forget what assignments you have due or anything like that, is a planner. Now, some of you may be thinking oh, I need a cute planner, blah, blah, blah. I need to go buy this and I have to spend my money on this, but you actually don't. I know that most schools give you a student planner like the one I have here. And if you don't want to go out and buy one, then you can just use your student planner, and you can write down what you did in class. So let's say in math you have a worksheet to do. You can literally just write down the homework that you have in that class, and you should be good to go. And if you remember to check your planner, you can check and see, oh, I have homework in math, and oh, I have homework in this and this and this, and it should be pretty easy to remember. So the next thing I would recommend, if you don't want to go out and buy a planner, or you think it's going to take too long to write stuff down in a planner, then what you can do is go onto Calendar on your iPhone or whatever you have, and you can set a reminder saying oh, I need to do this website thing. I don't know what kind of homework you have. It doesn't really matter, but what you can do is you can go and say project due on Friday, and then click set a reminder and do a day before or an hour before or whatever works for you. Just if you feel like you're on your phone more, I feel like that one would probably work out better if you know you're not going to be checking your planner every single day. So the next thing I would recommend is actually rewriting or highlighting your notes. So for rewriting, let's just say you're in a class, the teacher is saying, okay, you need to write this down, and you're scribbling a bunch of stuff, then you go back and you're I can hardly tell what that is. I would suggest going to another page or doing something like that and rewriting it and putting them into subjects and topics and stuff like that, and bullet pointing, instead of having scribbly handwriting and a mess of notes. And then also I would recommend highlighting certain things, certain colors. So you could say green is important and pink is homework, or something like that, something that will make it easier to read and memorize things on your homework. So the next thing that I would recommend is putting down your phone, putting it somewhere where you're not going to get distracted and pick it up while you are studying. So if you know that you're going to be getting on your phone, I would not suggest setting it right by you. Personally, I know I would get distracted by getting on my phone when I'm trying to study, and studying is way more important than your phone, and you kind of just have to remember that and just put your phone away for a couple of hours while you study or do your homework or do whatever you know you need to have done. So the next thing I would recommend is something we recently learned in science class, actually, is using graphic notes. So graphic notes is a great way to make your notes look more fun, and I guess it's an easier way to read because you get to make it look cooler and have better designs and stuff like that. And I would totally recommend this. We basically learned how to make our notes look prettier, I guess you could say, and it's totally so much more fun to have like cool designs on your notes and stuff like that. So I would totally recommend graphic notes. So here are some study tips to help you memorize things you need to know for a test. So the first thing that I would recommend is old school flashcards. So I know what you're thinking, like, duh, we can just do everything on a Chromebook or a computer or whatever device you have. But actually, old school flashcards are so much easier to use, and they may be a little hard to keep track of. But if you want to do like graphic notes or bulleting or highlighting, then old school flashcards are the way to go. Now, another thing you can use if you don't want to do old school flashcards is you can look up www.quizlet.something. I don't really remember the rest. Just look up Quizlet and you will find that is online flashcards. But the good thing about it is it asks you questions, and so if you like get it wrong, then it keeps asking you the question until you've got it memorized in your brain, which is what I use to memorize Spanish words. So I would also recommend that. And the third thing I would recommend is try teaching it to someone else, like your younger sibling or maybe a parent or another kid in your class. But what you can do is you can be like, I'm going to teach you about, let's say you're learning about atoms. You're saying like, oh, I'm going to teach you about atoms. And then you go into your brain and try and remember everything you learned about atoms and try and teach it to the other person that you're talking to. And if you are able to do that, then you are able to pass the test, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment down below and tell me if any of these tricks helped you to get your grades from a D to an A or helped you to not procrastinate as much as you did before. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the post notification bells so you can be notified every time I post. I post every single Wednesday, and that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!